Hello, and thank you for joining the webinar today. My name is Georgia Ranji, and the Founding Director of Brody and consultant to the Thomson Reuters Foundation on the Stop Slavery Award. I'm joined today by Nick Leiter, Director of Trust Law, and Sarah Farrelly, the Legal Manager for Europe Trust Law as well. And we're here today to, over the next 15 minutes or so, give you a good introduction to what the Stop Slavery Award is, the key differences this year, and critically how you can apply. So in this webinar today, we're going to talk you through 5 key points. And those key points are about what the Stop Slavery Award is, why does it exist in the first place, what are those key differences that we mentioned this year, why apply, and what does the application process look like itself.
Hi, I'm Nick Leiter, Director of Trust Law at the Thomson Reuters Foundation. The Stop Slavery Award was launched by the Thomson Reuters Foundation as an action resulting from the 2015 Trust Conference. The initiative has been designed to recognise and reward companies that have taken a concrete step to eradicate forced labour from their supply chains and operations. The aim is to create a race to the top, a virtuous circle, a positive paradigm that helps demonstrate that businesses can play a critical role in putting an end to modern slavery worldwide. The Stop Slavery Award gives public recognition to corporates that are best in class at demonstrating the integrity, courage, and innovation that we want to see in cleaning their supply chains and their own operations as well. Each year, winners are presented with an Anish Kapoor statue at the Thomson Reuters Foundation's annual Human Rights Conference, the Trust Conference. This year, the conference is taking place in London on the 14th and 15th of November, and the award ceremony for the Stop Slavery Awards themselves will be taking place on the evening of the 14th of November. And as well as the statue, each winner gets to use the Stop Slavery Award logo for a year. And there's more information about all of this stuff on the awards competition rules, the awards competition rules. The idea of using the logo is to help guide consumer decisions and contribute to raising cross-sector awareness on the issue of forced labour, to try and help encourage more companies to take similar action in addressing unfair and illegal labour practices in their own supply chains. The criteria for the Stop Slavery Awards is really comprehensive, and it's been developed using a combination of existing standards like the UK's Modern Slavery Act or the California Transparency in Supply Chain Act, as well as the US federal acquisition requirements and best practices as well, like the 2016 Know the Chain benchmarking methodology.
Thanks, Nick. So my name is Sarah Farrelly, and as Georgie mentioned, I'm a legal manager with Trust Law. So as Nick mentioned, businesses can be a force for good, and corporations play a critical role in ending modern slavery. While the Stop Slavery Award is not a certification, it is about celebrating and recognising the good practice that is happening. It aims to award businesses that are actively pursuing innovative solutions to tackle modern slavery, and the companies which win this award are those which go above and beyond to try and clean slavery from their supply chains. As you can see from the slide here, Kevin Bales, the co-founder of the non-profit organisation Free the Slaves, said, "There's been far too much shaming of companies that have been trying to do the right thing. These awards are crucial and help all those companies, as well as their competitors, to know that if you're going to do this right, you need to follow the lead set by these award winners." The award has been endorsed and is judged by an extremely prestigious judging board. Full details of the judging board are on the Stop Slavery Award website, but the panel includes the CEO of the Thomson Reuters Foundation, Monique Villa, Professor John Ruggie, the founding father of the UN Guiding Principles on Business and Human Rights, Kevin Hyland, the UK Independent Anti-Slavery Commissioner, and Ken Ross, the Executive Director of Human Rights Watch.
Great, thanks, Sarah. And so thinking about, we've got this fantastic panel of judges, this really compelling reason to be able to allow businesses a platform to talk about some of the innovations that are happening. And I think it's important to spend a moment now thinking, well, what's different this year? This is the 3rd year of the Stop Slavery Award. And this year, the award will accept applications in 2 different categories. So we've got the service companies and goods companies. And Sarah will be telling us a bit more about this distinction shortly. But building on the feedback from the companies over the past 2 years, we've developed a simplified questionnaire and have made 2 versions of this, one for each of those 2 categories I just mentioned. The questions are designed to highlight best practice relating to a corporate commitment, the performance, transparency, and risk mitigation. The questionnaire has been significantly streamlined. There are only 19 questions as opposed to the 47 in previous years. And under each question, we provided examples of good practice to support you in completing the questionnaire. Also this year, we've got a downloadable PDF as a way to complete the questionnaire. So this is a way you can easily edit and then upload to submit the questionnaire. So it's not, as in previous years, an online platform. This is something which is much easier to collaborate with colleagues and pull different functions of the business together to make this an easier process. And fundamentally, this year, as in previous years, this is a tool for your business. By completing the questionnaire, you can learn a lot about the strengths and possible weaknesses and areas for improvement of your approach to tackling modern slavery in all its forms. In previous years, the questionnaire is intended to identify leadership in all areas integral to robust anti-slavery practices. And as I said before, these questions are really designed to highlight those best practices relating to different elements of the corporate behaviour and transparency. So it's both a commitment, it's accountability, transparency, responsible recruitment as a key element, different customer business partner engagement, grievance mechanisms, monitoring, corrective actions, and stakeholder engagement. I mean, the list goes on. It's there to capture a full spectrum of work and innovation that businesses are doing to tackle this heinous crime. Another positive about this year, and what makes it different, is the questions are seeking very concise responses. So the indication is we're looking for 400 words or less per question, and there's also the opportunity where you can upload certain documents to support your application and be able to give a more fulsome response. So why apply? The brands you see on your screen now are some of the shortlisted companies from the 2017 awards. Last year, the judging board chose 4 winners. So Adidas were given the additional recognition of being Outstanding Achiever, and the others were CNA, Co-op, and Intel. In addition to these 4 companies, the judging board gave honourable mention to recruitment agency FSI Worldwide for its efforts in preventing slavery through fair and ethical recruitment. But something that is crucial to this whole Stop Slavery Award is that there is actually no such thing as perfect. This is a global challenge, and there's also no one-size-fits-all as a way of tackling or recognising good practice of the issue. But these companies are just some that were identified as making innovative and significant steps in tackling modern slavery in their supply chain. And I'm just going to talk about Adidas for a moment here. So these are the overall winners of the 2017 Stop Slavery Award, and a company with an extraordinarily complex supply chain. And the reason why the judging board identified Adidas and its excellence in this is its demonstration of strength across the different categories of the questionnaire. In particular, its submission stood out in the categories of transparency and industry action, as well as robust practices and initiatives. It's involved in a number of multi-stakeholder initiatives and is leading on a number of corporate engagement initiatives. The transparency of its audits also stood out, as Adidas were deemed to have also had the strongest and most specific responsible sourcing guidelines, and robust tools in place to trace higher risk supply chains down to raw material level. And then thinking about the cooperative group for a moment here, another of the 2017 winners was a company which excelled very particularly in the business partnership engagement category, giving excellent demonstration of supplier engagement and capacity building. The company stood out for its support to victims of modern slavery through its Brighter Future program, which aims to provide opportunities for employment and a route to a wider integration in society. In 2017, the Brighter Future program offered at least 30 people who have been rescued from conditions of slavery in the UK the opportunity for a paid work placement. And this will culminate in a job offer for a candidate performing well. So as you can see, these are 2 very different examples of ways of tackling a complex issue, but ones that were celebrated and recognised through the Stop Slavery Award.
Thanks, Georgie, and Sarah Farley here again. Just to run you through briefly what the application process is, and I'll take you through the Stop Slavery Award website briefly as well. The submission period is open for the awards until the 29th of July 2018. And as Georgie mentioned, there are two different versions of the questionnaire, one for service companies and the other for goods companies. Now, for the purposes of the Stop Slavery Awards, and these definitions are available within each of the questionnaires, service companies are those that sell services or intangible goods and products and do not rely on manufacturing or industrial processes in their supply chain and operations. On the other hand, goods companies are companies that have commodities or manufacturing, production, or industrial processes in their supply chains or operations, or otherwise rely on manual labour. And for the avoidance of doubt, all companies that are not service companies are considered goods companies for the purposes of this award. And if you do have any queries about which questionnaire your company should be completing, please do get in touch with our dedicated mailbox, which I'll give details to you after on the next slide. So in order to help you complete the questionnaire, I'm just going to bring you through the Stop Slavery Award website briefly. So when you go to the landing page, which is www.stopslaveryaward.com, when you scroll down, you'll see some information here about the award, and you'll also see this section, Applying for the Award. And here you'll see the two separate buttons clearly. There's the service company application and the goods company application. As I mentioned as well, the definitions are set out there again as to what those companies mean. And when you click into the application, you'll see that it brings you to a separate page which has this interactive editable PDF, which hopefully you will find easy to use. And again, if you do have any questions, please do get in touch with us. Essentially what you should do is download the copy of the relevant questionnaire to your computer and complete the PDF offline. A couple of tips for completing the PDF, which are lessons learned from the last couple of years of the awards, is if you are getting colleagues to input into the document, we would recommend that you make sure that you are all editing the latest up-to-date version of the PDF. Also, it would be helpful if when you're uploading information into the PDF, if you do have that information saved in another format, whether that's in a Word document or somewhere else on your computer, it can be helpful to just have that backed up as well. As I said, if you do have any technical issues at all, please feel free to email our dedicated inbox and we'll get in touch to assist you with the application. Once you've completed the questionnaire, the next stage is to upload the completed application. That can be done by clicking this button here, Submit Your Application. So essentially that'll take you through to this Survey Gizmo screen, and you can upload your completed application form here, as well as up to 5 supporting documents. Now, these supporting documents, examples of them would be, say, your company's human rights or supply chain policy, a sustainability report, a code of conduct, or perhaps an annual report. And it's important to remember that once you have uploaded your completed application form, you won't be able to make any further amendments. So the best idea is to work on the PDF offline, and then once you have it all ready, to upload it before the closing date. And if you do have any issues with the uploading stage, or you have more than 5 supporting documents that you want to upload, just get in contact with us to the mailbox. One final document to bring to your attention is the background information document. That contains a lot of helpful information about the awards this year. So hopefully any questions you have will be answered in that document, but likewise do feel free to get back in touch with us if you have any other questions.
Thanks for that, Sarah. And as you can see now on your screen, you've got lots of ways of finding out more information and getting in touch. So the dedicated mailbox for the awards is stopslaveryaward@trust.org. And either myself or Sarah or Nick will be very happy to help you with any questions or queries you may have about the process of applying or anything about the award. And just a quick reminder that these questions are designed to encourage organizations to do more to try to eradicate slavery from operations and supply chain. And the bar has intentionally been set very high. So you don't have to, you shouldn't expect to be able to have every single answer at the best practice level. This is something which is to highlight specific areas of good practice and innovation and encourage in tackling what is a global challenge for business, government and civil society alike. We welcome applications from every organisation, irrespective of how comprehensive their activities have been to date, and that process, as Sarah walked through, can all be done online. And in the interest of encouraging the sharing of learning amongst companies working to combat slavery in their supply chains and operations, we plan to share best practice examples of the different questionnaire sections in the submissions received from applicants for the award. And these examples will only be shared with prior approval from the relevant applicant. And also, importantly, the names of applicants are strictly confidential, and only shortlisted companies will be announced to the public. So please do get in touch. We're here to help, and we're looking forward to hearing from you and working on your application for the Stop Slavery Award 2018.